Hi, I'm Betsy, and this is my helper, Wolfie. We're working on converting our new Ram Promaster 1500 cargo van into a camper van. Previously, we owned a Ram 3500 Promaster, which was professionally upfitted by Winnebago as a Winnebago Travato. We really enjoyed the 3 years that we owned and traveled in the Travato, but it had very complex systems. It had water tanks mounted under the van, and it had a generator with a lot of complex electrical systems. While we enjoyed that van, we lived in it for most of a year as we traveled around the country. We got to a point where it was more than what we needed. Now we've bought a smaller plain cargo van, which we plan to outfit ourselves and do as much of the work ourselves as possible and keep everything simple and easy to maintain. In selecting a specific van, the first decision is what size van you need. We chose the Ram Promaster because we like the size. It's short enough to park anywhere, yet it's wide enough in the rear to put the bed across the back. We went with the Ram 1500 Promaster, which is the smallest in the high roof. Next thing we did was decide what features we had to have on the van. I wanted a white van, so that was an important feature for me. But we also listed out all of the features we wanted and revised this list of features over several weeks, where we went back and forth on which features we had to have in green, features which would be nice to have in yellow, and features we didn't really want in orange. And then when we felt comfortable that we knew what we really wanted, we went to the Ram Promaster website, where you can put in all the specs you want on your van, and it will show you every van that meets those specs within 150 miles. It's an excellent tool, and we went through that probably every couple of days to see if there were any new vans popping on the list, until we found one that had most of what we wanted, some of the nice to haves, and it even had a few of the things we didn't want. So the combination of deciding what you want and then using the Ram tool gets you to a short list of vans, and then go to the dealer site. Once you get to the dealer site, it's really important to test every mechanism for getting the best price on the van. So call them, try and get pricing that way. Definitely online request the e-price. For us, that was the lowest possible price we could get, and we're very satisfied we got a good price. And also go in, if you're near that dealer, and try to negotiate with them face to face. For us, we ended up driving several hours to get the best possible price on the van we wanted. But again, we're very satisfied that we got a good price and a great van. I'm being upstaged by a chicken. Our first van was called Campy, so this van is Campy 2.0. We keep a little whiteboard out here with a list of the projects we're working on, and also a schematic of the van layout. So our plan for the van is to add swivel seats, driver and passenger, put a approximately 48-inch galley with a sink with foot pump water, overhead cabinets in the galley. We plan to get a chest fridge, kind of like a smaller Dometic, and build that into some kind of a cabinet so it will also serve as bench seating, and then add a full-size bed across the rear, supported by wheel boxes, and then with an additional overhead cabinet there. The game plan with windows, and we've actually already ordered windows from Motion Windows. It's a company up in Vancouver, Washington, part of Peninsula Glass, which is a family-owned and run business. And we went up there and did a factory tour, and we were really impressed. We met with Jeff Kemp, who's one of the family members, and he gave us a tour through the factory, showed us the windows, and we also set up for them to install the windows for us. So we'll be taking the van up there in about 6 weeks to have the windows installed. Let me show you what windows we're putting in. So the plan for the windows is to put a short window here, which will be right above our heads in bed at night. And then we'll have a ceiling fan kind of in the middle of the vanish, so that on hot nights we can run the ceiling fan on exhaust, leave the window open, and it'll pull the breeze right over us as we sleep, keep us cool. We're planning to put 2 motion window T-slider windows here on the back of the van, and that'll give us the ability to have those windows open for additional ventilation while we're camping. One nice thing about the T-slider windows from Motion Windows is you can order them in whatever configuration you prefer. I believe standard is that they both open from the outside in, so that the screen will be here and here. So when you order the windows, you can order them with the screen on whichever side you want, or have them both on the same side. And finally, we'll be putting a Motion Windows T-slider window here in the slider, and so that'll open from here to here, and that has a screen in it as well. So the other thing we did was Ann ran down to Lowe's and bought this vinyl gutter guard. I think the whole piece was $2, $1.88, and then she cut it in half and made these little filler pieces for the windows. And so you can leave the window cracked, and it's got insect screen in it as well. And so you can leave that open for ventilation at night. And so that's what we're using now before we have the windows or fan installed. And they're working out great. They've got a little slot in them that slides right onto the window. And so you put the window down, slide this onto the glass, and then roll it up until it touches the top of the window frame. Really great, simple, cheap solution. Our concept in designing this van is to make it simple and easy. We do have some skills. We've done several home remodels before and have done a lot of the work ourselves. So we're capable, but we're kind of choosy in which things we decide to undertake ourselves. So for example, we're letting Motion Windows install the windows while we're up there picking the windows up, and that works for us. We'll probably install the ceiling fan ourselves. We will probably hire somebody to install the heating system once we decide on the heating system. Our approach is to upfit the van in stages so that we can use it as we go. We expect the whole build out to take as much as a year, and we'll want to use the van in between. We want it to be easy, so we want to try and do as much as we can, hire out the things we're not comfortable doing. And we want it to be cost effective, but we also want to try to pick the best products for our use. So with that in mind, one of the solutions we came across on Facebook page is this van rug. And so we're going to test this as our insulation solution. So the van rug is grooved to fit the ribs of the van floor, and so it gives a nice tight fit. It weighs nothing. Literally, it came, I think FedEx brought it, and the whole thing was rolled up in a box and I could carry it like this. It just weighs nothing. So it's super easy to install, but we do have to remove this piece to slide it under there and trim it out. And so we have that last little finishing touch to do. But the idea here is that we plan to test this as our insulation layer, put the factory wood floor on top of that, and then possibly put either sheet vinyl or maybe even vinyl snap and click on top of that. So these are a couple of the sheet vinyl options we're considering. This one is super thick, and so I feel like that might add an insulation layer. But we're going to take it one step at a time. So we've got the van rug in now. We'll get that trimmed out and get the factory floor back in, and then go out for some more trips in it and see how that's working for us. This is the approach we're taking to make the van flexible, cost-effective, easy, and start using it right away instead of having to do the whole upfit and wait for some number of months before we can even use it. So that's our project.